Okay, it is the last day of term tomorrow, and my lovely class have been voting as part of our advent calendar on which of these sea creatures we are going to be adopting as a class in the new year. So I'm going to count out the votes and see what our adoptable friend is going to be. Need a whiteboard to check these out. So we have got a decision. Hello, I'm Harry. Welcome back to Be the Fish Deep Dives and happy holidays! It's finally time for the winter break for us teachers in the UK, which means more time to enjoy the winter festivities. For me, that's more time to cozy down with lots of hot chocolate and welcome the new year. Of course, as you've already seen, we've had lots of Christmas festivities in the lead up to the winter break in my class, which ties quite nicely into today's deep dive. I have a bit of a tradition in the classes that I've taught, which is to adopt and track an animal. This started with my very first class where we adopted a whale shark as part of our research into different biomes as part of our geography topic. My last year's class adopted a snow leopard that we could track as well, and this year my class have been desperate to adopt an animal of their own. They have seen the plethora of shark-themed items on my desk, so I thought the best way to do this in the lead up to Christmas would be to create an animal advent. I made a spin the wheel, where each day 2 children were able to place a vote for their own class sea creature that we could adopt and track using the animal tracker on Fallow. This is not a sponsorship, I'm just a big fan of tracking animals and learning more about them, and I wanted to share that with my class as well. After counting up all of their votes, I can happily announce that our class will be adopting and tracking our very own seal. Seal is one of my absolute favourite animals, as you can see on my t-shirt here, and they've always felt really special to me and a really big part of UK wildlife. Being so close to Christmas time, tomorrow as of recording this is Christmas Eve, this ties quite nicely into the winter theme vibe that we're experiencing at the minute, which could partially be due to the wintry, icy environments that we see them in a lot of the time. Admittedly, it could also be due to certain icy seal type creatures that we see in a lot of pop culture and video games that I know my class and myself have played a lot of. So, get yourself a hot drink, cozy on down, and join me for this episode of Deep Dives. Now, there are many types of seals, or pinnipeds as they are scientifically known, which can be divided into 3 different categories. This is based on their appearance and their geographical location where they will be inhabiting. This includes our Antarctic species, which includes leopard and crab-eater seals, tropical and subtropical seals, such as the Hawaiian monk seal, and Arctic and temperate seals, which include our grey and harbour seals, which are the seals that we will find most often in the UK, and one of which we will be looking at in this drawing here. Hopefully this will very shortly look a little bit more like a harbour seal than it already does. The harbour seal, as well as the grey, harp and similar looking seal species, are what we would call true seals, as opposed to our eared seals, which we would call sea lions and fur seals. We also have the walrus, which isn't technically a seal, it is separate on its own away from our furred and eared seal species. Aside from the lack of or presence of ears, these 2 different types of seals have other physical characteristics that we would use to differentiate the 2. This is mostly in the way that they present and utilise their flippers. If you've ever been to an aquarium before, you'll have seen sea lions, and I can imagine that you'll probably remember the largeness of their flippers. Both their front flippers and their hind flippers are a lot bigger than our true seals. They also have the ability to manoeuvre them to face forwards, rather than just pointing backwards. This allows for a much easier manoeuvrability on land, whilst our true seals don't have the same size with their flippers or the ability to move them around. They have much shorter hind flippers, and their front flippers as well are more to do with balance than they are to do with maneuverability. These aren't the most graceful creatures in the world, so having that extra bit of balance on land does definitely help, especially when they are typically quite round. The harbour seal, or common seal as you might also hear it known, can be distinguished from the grey seal as they're typically much smaller and they have shorter heads. They also have V-shaped nostrils, and they're variable in colour. They can be blonde to black, but they're generally grey with darker spots along their bodies. When they're not at sea, common seals can be found in sheltered shores or estuaries where they come to haul up. And you might also see them a lot of the time curving their bodies lead on the rocks. They look a little bit like a banana. I've heard a lot of people referring to our seals as lazy, but hauling out is actually a really important part of a seal's lifestyle. Hauling out allows the seal to come out of the water, haul out onto the shore or rocks, wherever you might see them be, and this helps them digest their food, rest, and regulate their temperature. This works in tandem with the seal's blubber, which also insulates heat, but it also allows them to store energy and increase their buoyancy while they're in the water. Like grey seals, harbour seals feed on fish, but they also eat squid, whelks, crabs, and mussels. Common seal pups born in the wild are often born in the summer, and they will be swimming in the ocean within the first few hours of them being born. Now, thankfully in the UK, harbour seals are of least concern in terms of endangerment, which is brilliant, but this has not always been the case around the world. In the USA, specifically in Cape Cod in Massachusetts, grey seals were almost hunted to near zero numbers. This is because of what is known now as the Jaws effect. I'm talking about the film Jaws, which many of you, like myself, might be a big fan of. And when this movie came out, there was mass panic among the people of Cape Cod, which is where I believe the film is set. Obviously, Jaws doesn't feature man-eating seals or anything like that, but it does feature man-eating sharks. Now, great white sharks specifically, which will have been seen in Jaws, is a species that hunts and feeds on seals, particularly harbour and grey seals, like the ones that live in Cape Cod. Now, knowing this, the residents of Cape Cod panicked, thinking that the abundance of grey seals that are living on their shores are going to attract a bigger abundance of great white sharks who will come and eat the seals, and in turn put a lot of the people of Cape Cod at risk. Well, the residents of Cape Cod went onto the shores of their beaches and would actively hunt any seals that were hauled out of the water, thinking that less seals would mean less great whites, which would mean less shark attacks. Now, paired with the negativity that a lot of fishermen also had towards the seal population due to them eating the fish of the shores and stealing them away from the people of Cape Cod, the seals weren't having too much of a good time during this time period. Thankfully though, due to the Marine Mammal Protection Act, grey seal numbers are now healthy and stable, just as they are here in the UK thanks to the Conservation of Seals Act. It's important that we protect the hauled out seal species of our shores and make sure that they stay this way. So, if you're lucky enough to come across a seal while walking along the beach, make sure you give it plenty of space, and to protect their swimming environment, make sure that you safely dispose of any net or rope next time you're at the beach, and reduce any amounts of litter that you may have left behind. Whilst people that were around during the release of Jaws at the time might not have agreed with this, seals are typically thought of as the nicer side of the marine life that we have on our planet, largely due to something called phylogenetic relatedness. Since seals have the more vague likeness to people than a lot of other fish species would have, people often believe them to have more capacity for thought, emotions, and feelings. This means that they're more likely to be protected by people as well. Whether you agree or not, I think that it's super important to protect and care for all of our marine life, as each and every creature plays a part in our natural world, even these carefree, plump seals balancing on the rocky shores. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive and that you like the picture that I've drawn of our lovely harbour seals. Please like and share this video to someone else who might enjoy learning a little bit more about our lovely seal species. I'd really appreciate it, and it'd be a wonderful Christmas present if you don't mind. And also leave a comment about any seal species sightings that you might have had, or your favourite fact about seals that I might not have included in this video. I love hearing other people's interactions and experiences with the ocean, and it really helps me to put more information next time into these deep dives. And finally, happy Christmas Eve. Have a wonderful time celebrating, or not. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the new year. Thank you for watching. Bye.